Courtney and Lev, welcome to Inside South Florida.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited to have you today on the show, and it is fall season, which means back to school season. Tell us, how can parents save money while purchasing all the new things their kids need for this school year?
We know this back to school shopping season is very expensive. In fact, a recent Intuit Credit Karma survey showed that 44% of parents are actually dreading back to school shopping this year because of those higher costs. And more than half are also expecting to spend more this year than they've needed to spend in prior years. So if this is you, what can you do? The first thing you want to do is assess what you already have and prioritize accordingly. Your child's school may send home a supply list. From there, you can see what you've already got. And then you want to track your spending and create a budget. Really try to the best of your ability to determine how much you can truly afford to spend on back to school this year. And then you want to also be very mindful about what your child needs versus what they want. I know when I was a kid, I wanted a new lunchbox every single year, even if maybe I didn't need one. And then once you have that list and it's time to shop, you want to get crafty with how you're sourcing those school supplies. Take advantage of sales and discounts. And if your child needs electronics like a laptop or a tablet, consider buying refurbished to save money. And don't forget to ask your child's school if there are other resources available. For example, there are some community programs out there that actually offer free electronics to students who qualify.
A back to school budget. Such a great idea, Courtney. And going a little deeper on this here, if some parents have to take on debt when going back to school shopping, what should they do about it?
If you're worried about needing to take on debt for back to school shopping this year, you are not alone. Our same survey found that over a third of parents are worried or planning on taking on debt this year. And many more are worried about needing to sacrifice necessities like groceries or bills to be able to keep up with those expenses. And that doesn't even begin to cover the cost of after-school programs like sports or clubs, which many parents are also worried about needing to go into debt to afford. And so if this is you, what you want to do is make sure you're exhausting every resource available to you before going into debt. That could mean shopping secondhand for anything that you need, tapping your inner network to see if there's any hand-me-downs you can get, or being really strict about that budget. So if you do need to swipe that credit card and go into debt, you just want to make sure you are making a plan to pay it off as soon as you can. And if you're planning on taking advantage of repayment plans such as buy now, pay later, you just want to make sure that you are making all of those follow-up payments on time and in full.
Courtney, it seems like sometimes the higher education, the higher the cost. So what tips can you offer for college students as well as their parents who are struggling to balance the cost of school supplies but also dorm room essentials this year?
Shopping for college can get really pricey, so you want to shop smart. You're trying to stock up that dorm room. First, see what you have at home that maybe you can bring with you. Perhaps it's some bedding or some extra kitchen appliances. And then you can shop secondhand, like through online marketplaces or thrift stores, for some gently used furniture or that mini fridge you just can't live without. And then a big item for a lot of students is textbooks. They can be very expensive. Check with your campus to see if they have resources like a used book program. You might be surprised at how much you can save.
That's shopping in preparation for the start of the season, but how about living throughout the whole year? I mean, you have kids going off to college for the first time living on their own. What are your financial tips for them?
If you are heading off to college for the first time, my number one tip is to make sure you're setting yourself up for financial success. This is the first time that many students are living on their own and needing to really establish some of that independent financial footing. So it is a perfect time to either start or reinforce your healthy financial habits. That can include creating a budget, which is a great way to understand where your money is going. If you've never created a budget, it doesn't need to be intimidating. Start with just making a list of your expenses, how much they cost, and ranking them in order of importance. You could also really differentiate between what are your needs and what are your wants. College is also a great time to be building that credit score that is so important for our financial life. If you're thinking about opening a credit card, consider applying for a student credit card. They have some protections built in, like small credit limits, that can help prevent you from overspending while you're also trying to build that credit score. And a tip on this for parents: if you're using your credit card responsibly, consider adding your child as an authorized user on your account. This can really help them build their own credit, but you want to be really mindful in this situation because your spending and payment history will affect your child's credit score.
Courtney, where can we go for more information?
You can go to creditkarma.com or download the Credit Karma app. We have plenty of tools and resources that can help.
Thanks, Courtney.